Hey guys, um, this is another little ditty from our monthly meeting with my colleagues around the country. It's a small, close-knit Zoom we do. We're all practitioners of Social Security Disability and SSI, um, or some do Federal District Court Appeals also. Anyway, um, I hold it once a month, and sometimes over the holidays we have to put it off because we're all so busy. But anyway, it's very informal, fun, chatty, friendly. But we hash out things that come up. And so one thing that came up this month was someone we're exemplifying the mistake some claimants make in not being careful how they speak with their providers. So for instance, a person who used to do hiking and boating and maybe mountain climbing or, all sorts of fun things. It'll be, you'll find in the records, like say from their primary care, maybe you don't know what the question was that precipitated it, but then the patient's response will be, and the doctor's note will say, says he, it might be in the history even. I know they cut and paste that for 10 years. Don't get me started. Likes to hike, likes to bike, likes to mountain climb or rock climb, And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. That does not sound like a disabled person. So, sometimes you'll end up speaking to the person, or it could be the spouse. And you're like, so when's the last time he hiked? Oh, wow, I've been married to him for 4 years. Hasn't done it since I've been married to him. So then you kind of, broach it with the person, like, these records are saying that you're telling your doctor that you enjoy hiking and biking and rock climbing. But from my discussions with you, you don't do that. So what's going on? And sometimes they don't know how it got in there. And my suspicion is if they've been treating with that doctor, or if there was another doctor and those records transferred or something, maybe they're in the same network, that cut and paste has moved along. Or sometimes, as a patient, we might misinterpret. Well, I don't even know if it's misinterpreting. If someone says, what is your hobby? And you're thinking about what you like, you can't do it now because you're disabled, but your hobby is to go hiking. If only you could do it, right? I think we have to start looking at that as, what kind of hobbies do you partake in? Not what are your wildest dreams, that you could do again. Because that comes up and it'll come up at a hearing, and a judge or even adjudicator down below, sometimes they quote from the records and say, says he enjoys hiking and biking. This is only on, August of 2023. Bingo, you just kind of killed your own case. There's not a lot of expeditious ways to fix medical records that have these misstatements in them, or they're putting them in a false light. I mean, even when patients try to get the records changed, because they have the right to ask. And I think maybe their refutation of what's in a record has to be kind of in the record as they have refuted it, even if the doctor refuses to change it. And that might be helpful in and of itself. But just, while it can happen as a matter of lazy recording by a medical provider or their staff, that's bad enough, but don't compound it by being uncareful how you answer things. Now, it could very well be that the particular patient in question said, I used to love to do this, and this. And then, being a sloppy recorder, they said likes to, and it looks like present tense. I can't tell you how much it drives me crazy. But that goes towards other things too, when speaking with your medical providers, because like I said, it's bad enough that you can't control some of the wild card misprints they're going to put in there. But you don't have to compound it and add to it, right? It could be something like, if you're going out of the country, and you're disabled, or you're alleging you're disabled and you have severe, medical impairments, big pain issues, etc., and you're going out of the country, you want to make it, if you're going to tell your doctor you're doing that, and I'm not sure why you would even have to, it's not necessarily his business. It's not going to cure you faster. Make it clear that it's not a vacation. If it's not, if it is a vacation, I probably wouldn't mention it at all. And a lot of times those vacations are so one can rest and be taken out of the stresses of home and lie on a beach and relax and recoup, which disabled people can do all the time. That's not something that's very exertional, although ironically, it seems like sometimes it's interpreted as they feel good enough to go in. They're not in chronic pain. Well, no, they're probably still in pain. They're just lying down in the sun while they're, but if you're going for a different reason, like say a funeral, a wedding, to visit someone sick, maybe make that clear. So it's clear that you're not going there to do, fun vacation things where you're biking around the town in the sun and, going to the casinos and, walking around there for hours, gambling. If it's more of a, and I don't want to say business, but it's almost like personal business, funerals, weddings. I would go so far as say family reunion. If you're going to visit someone who's sick, to show like sometimes, you might be going because you have a parent over there who's, getting old and it might be your last time. Maybe if you feel the need to mention the trip, make it clear to the doctor that it's a difficult trip because it's for this, or I wouldn't be going except for, because it's going to be difficult for me, except for my daughter's getting married there, or, and I have to give her away, or my sister, and I have to be there, or, it is kind of like another example. I've had a few, the recent one about fishing, where just saying the word, going on vacation to, Puerto Rico or Italy or Canada or wherever, Cancun, it implies footloose and carefree, which in some minds might seem inconsistent with if you have pain and that's what's disabling, or mental health anxiety, they don't tend to think one can be footloose and fancy free, at least not if it's disabling. So you really want to hone in when it's like, it's not that you're saying, I absolutely have no choice. Of course you have a choice whether you go, but when it comes to family matters, that is really, really imperative for many of us, that, you can break both my legs and I'm still going to get there. You know what I mean? So I think that might be a good thing to make sure, if you feel compelled to share this extracurricular activity with a doctor's office, that you make it really clear, that what it's not, and how you're concerned about how difficult, it's going to be, that you feel pretty obligated on the one afternoon to put on a smile and be happy for the event. But then you already have arrangements to be back at the room resting for the next couple of days, or, whatever the case may be, whatever fits your particular scenario. But again, it's, being mom is not always the best thing when it comes to Social Security disability. It's not like we always say, it's not a criminal case where you want to plead the fifth and keep your mouth shut, Miranda rights. This is your evidence. And if your only evidence is that you just went on vacation, that's not nearly as good as I went out of state or out of country, if you have to say it at all, for a major family event that I absolutely had to go. And so we made accommodations where I would be back at the room with her. Like we have it all laid out. So we're accommodating me and my needs to then go rest, whatever the situation is, but I hope you get my point here. Leaving it just blanket on a vacation can be hurtful, particularly for people who go every year. And it will depend on the adjudicator. Some will take that poorly. Some won't. They understand that, of course, short of being on your deathbed, everyone's got to go and do family things, and everyone should go away for a week and bask in the sun or, whatever they do. Of course, if you're doing a physical vacation, physically exertional, then you're probably not disabled. So I'm assuming we're talking about the ones that are. Okay. All right. Get on, guys. Have a great night.